Connecting the dots to murder. Is it hard to believe that moms could encourage their sons to commit murder? What is going on in Florida? Hello, all you legal-minded friends. You are here because you know information is power, so let's get started. Florida 73-year-old woman Donna Adelson is arrested and has already been indicted by the grand jury for first-degree murder, conspiracy to commit first-degree murder, and solicitation to commit first-degree murder of her ex-son-in-law, the father of her grandchildren. Her son, Charlie Adelsson, a dental surgeon, was just convicted by a jury with the same charges. The prosecution alleges that Donna Adelson took part in this murder for hire, and if you find that hard to believe that a mother could encourage her son to commit such egregious crimes, well, here is another case in Florida. A 50-year-old grandmother, Sheila Agee, encouraged her 20-year-old son to kill his 2-year-old child's mother, Brooklyn Sims, who was 18 years old at the time. Let's look at the evidence the law enforcement has against these two grandmothers. Let's start with Donna Adelson's case. Her daughter, Wendi, went through a nasty divorce. Wendi, who is a lawyer, and her ex-husband, Dan Markel, was a law professor. They had 2 children and lived in Tallahassee, Florida. Wendi, after the divorce, wanted to move closer to her parents' home in Miami, Florida, and made an application to the court. The court denied her application to relocate, and this upset her mother. So after the court's denial of Wendi's relocation, Donna sends emails to Wendi. Let's listen to a part that the prosecutor has read from these emails in Charlie Adelson's trial. Then I will tell you the eerie similarities with the Agee case.
But there were other ways to skin the cat. Here's a June email from Donna to Wendi. In response to the court order denying relocation, Donna emails Wendi, quote, "It's time for action. It's time to take control of your life and let Jibbers think he's won anything by having you remain in Tallahassee, 8 hours away from the only family you have. Let's show this F blank 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 what will make him absolutely miserable."
The emails Donna Adelson sends her daughter clearly indicates that she wants her daughter Wendi to take control. This is very similar to the next case we're going to talk about. The subject line Donna uses is "please read." This tells me that it's either really important or that they are not communicating. For example, why hasn't she just called her daughter? Donna is not pleased with the court's decision, and she lets Wendi know it's now up to her. Wendi needs to help herself. She's saying the court is not going to help her. Donna uses explicits to talk about Wendi's ex-husband. This clearly indicates she has no respect for him. As we saw in that clip, Donna is clearly telling her daughter Wendi to take control and uses explicitives to convey this message. Similarly, Sheila Agee is fed up with her son, as he was upset about the money his ex was costing him. And his mother texted him the whereabouts of his ex, saying, "If you don't kill her, you mother effer." She was basically telling him to go to her workplace, as his ex, Brooklyn Sims, worked for a contractor, and she was at Home Depot. She was conducting inventory that day. So Keith Agee went there and shot her. Shortly after this, he surrendered himself, and he and his mother have been charged with first-degree murder and premeditated murder. Now, the Adelson case gets a lot more complicated for Grandma Donna. Dan Markel, the ex-husband to Wendi, made an application to the courts to have Wendi's mother restricted to supervised contacts with her 2 grandchildren because he was concerned about the way she was talking to the children about him. You can pause this to see what he actually wrote. Now, I've seen this a lot in custody battles where the courts will make part of a contact order not to be disparaging about the other parent in front of the children, but to ask the court that she is not to see the grandchildren unless she is supervised does seem unreasonable in the first instance, and I can imagine that this upset Donna. But Dan Markel did not get the chance to argue his case in court as he was gunned down inside his garage after dropping off his children to daycare. His neighbor heard the shots and saw the shooters drive away. Dan Markel sadly died later in hospital. Now, the police eventually tracked down who shot Dan Markel, and one of the hitmen made a deal with the prosecutors and told them that Katherine Magbanua paid for them to do the hit. She had large sums of money deposited in her bank account, and prosecutors offered her complete immunity if she told them who paid her. She would not give up that it was Charlie Adelsson, and as a result, she was sentenced to life in prison along with the two other hitmen. Law enforcement find out that Katherine had been dating Charlie Adelsson, and he had put her on his payroll. He was a dental surgeon, as you might recall, but this was odd because there was no evidence that she worked for him. Not long after Dan Markel was shot, Wendi Adelson was interviewed by police. Let's listen to a clip of her interrogation from the Law and Crime Trial Network. I will leave the full clip in the description area, but for now, this will set us up nicely for what I'd like to discuss with you.
My brother, his name is Charlie, the one I'm really close to, he makes a lot of jokes in bad taste, and it was a joke he made. He bought the TV for me this morning that got broken, and I was talking to him about whether it made sense to pay to fix it or whether I should get a new one, and it was always his joke that, like, he knew Danny treated me badly, and it was always his joke. He said, I looked into hiring a hitman, and it was cheaper to get you this TV, so instead I got you this TV. He would never.
I wanted to play that clip for you so you could hear it for yourself, that Wendi told the police that her brother had joked around about hiring a hitman, but bought her a TV as a wedding gift instead. And in the trial, the prosecution kept referring to this TV as it was part of the code words used in the wiretaps they heard, and they were suggesting that it wasn't a coincidence that her TV was being fixed at the same time Dan Markel was shot twice in the head, meaning this gave Wendi Adelson an alibi. And more interestingly is that her mother, Donna, booked the appointment for the TV repair guy to come on that particular day that Dan was murdered. So in this next short clip that I want you to listen to is after Wendi had been picked up. The police wanted to let her know that Dan Markel was shot, and she kept saying, "Look, I know why I'm a suspect." Let's listen to what they say to her.
And I think at this point, if you had anything to do with this, you'd have already told me.
Okay.
And you haven't. So my thing is that let's let the...
My ex-husband caused me a lot of grief. I would never do something like that.
I know.
So the interrogation or questioning or whatever you want to call it, she was there for quite a few hours, almost 5. Now, what I want you to watch for here is if you're ever arrested and questioned by police, you should have your legal representative with you. Let's have a listen and see if you can agree. And if you do, please let me know in the comments section.
Well, let me ask you, if you found out that this was someone that you personally know, would that change your mind about what should happen to that person?
About what should happen to that person?
For prosecution purposes.
No.
Is there any way that you would think
somebody tried to kill my ex-husband? They should be prosecuted to the full extent of the law.
Regardless of who it is.
I mean, it would be different if I thought it were my brother, but I don't think it was my family.
Okay.
Anyone outside my immediate family, that's a tough one.
Okay.
But I don't think my immediate family did this. So
Okay.
if it's anybody else, yeah.
So did you catch how her demeanor changed when she answered the question, what should happen to the person who did this? And in her brother's trial, the prosecution in closing used Wendi's words to tell the jury how Wendi would feel differently if it were a member of her own family. Yet during the interrogation, she does go on to say that it would be hard if it were somebody in her family. She wouldn't know how she'd feel, as she couldn't believe any one of them could do something like this. So this is why it's so important. If you're ever questioned by the police, you should have a legal representation. And I've done a video that you can see on the screen giving you tips if you're ever arrested. Now this next clip, in my view, is the pivotal moment why Donna Adelson has been just arrested and indicted by the grand jury. So let me set it up. After the police found out about Charlie's off-the-cuff joke about buying Wendi a TV as a divorce gift, saying it would be cheaper than hiring a hitman, and after Wendi herself said that her mom had booked the TV repairman to come that particular day, the law enforcement set up wiretaps and surveillance to see what would happen. And they also set up this sting called, it was an operation called Bump, to see how Donna Adelson would react. So let's watch and then we can discuss the significance.
How you doing? Just want to give you this. Listen. Don't be scared. Listen, just want to let you know that we know that your family has been taking care of Katie and her friend Hugo for quite some time after your problem up north has been resolved. And I want to let you know that my brother, he's incarcerated. He helped your family with this problem you guys had up north. And we want to make sure that he's going through some rough times. And we want to make sure that you take care of what he's going through, the way you're taking care of Katie and Tuco. Well, this will explain it. Thank you.
So did you notice? After the bump, Donna puts the paper in her purse. She doesn't actually open it. And soon after, she makes calls to Charlie. She basically says, Charlie, we have a problem that involves the both of us. You can pause to read some of what she said. But the most damning is read in Charlie's trial by the prosecutor. Here, let's have a listen.
The defendant got Wendi Adelson a TV as a divorce present as a cheaper alternative to hiring a hitman. Dan Markel was killed by a hitman. Then the same TV is Wendi's alibi for the murder, a service appointment that her mother set up for her from South Florida. And then on the wire, Donna says, quote, "This TV is going to cost about $5." Does the defendant say, "What TV? What are you talking about?" since you inserted a random object into this careful talk conversation? No, he doesn't need to ask what TV, because he knows exactly what she's talking about, and he ferrets it back. They asked you for $5,000? The defendant has advised you that this TV stuff is a coincidence. Is it a coincidence, or is it obvious they're referring to their conspiracy and this murder? Only you can decide which explanation is credible.
Well, it's no wonder what happens next is not a surprise. I can imagine after Donna heard this, but I'll tell you about that in just a moment. The circumstantial evidence against Donna is not as direct as in the Agee case. Can you imagine Donna Adelson watching her son's trial and seeing all the evidence against her for the world to see, that she booked Wendi's TV to be repaired on the day her ex-son-in-law was murdered, that she was controlling in emails, that she lacked confidence in the courts, that Dan Markel was trying to limit her contact with her grandchildren being supervised, which all sounds like motive. Her own daughter in the police interview said Dan could rub people the wrong way. Her family did not like him, that the TV was cheaper than a hitman. After Charlie was found guilty, Donna made a prison phone call to him, basically telling him that she was putting her affairs in order. And after this call, she and her husband book flights and head to Miami airport. But it's their destination that is suspicious. They are heading to Thailand, which does not have an extradition agreement with the USA. All these behaviors lead police to arresting her at the airport, and she has already been indicted by the grand jury. I did a video on the grand jury if you want to understand what that's all about and why Britain abolished it, so check that out. We have to remember Donna Adelson is presumed innocent until proven guilty. What's your thoughts? By leaving a comment, you may help someone else that will read your comment. And of course, I love to read all comments as they are valued, and together we can be more informed. And this information may help you or someone you know. On this channel, you'll find a variety of playlists to suit every curiosity about the justice system. And we provide you with a visual to information and the process. Going through a legal worry is devastating, and the Who Knew and Why Me playlists are designed to help you or someone you know. So please like this video if you like this kind of content. Hit the subscribe button and the notification bell if you want to be notified when I'm going live or upload another video. I'm Karen Cole from Legal Minded Friends. Information is power, meaning if you know something, you can make decisions that are right for you.